again, Sulli-Days here, and I'd like to welcome you to Happy Sulli-Days. It's that time of year again, and I figured to start off this month by reviewing a show about a snowman. No, let me rephrase that. I'm reviewing a movie about a man who's reincarnated as a snowman. It was a critical flop, but to me, I had a fine time seeing it. And it is simply known as Jack Frost. No, not that one. There you go. Jack Frost is the lead singer of his band called the Jack Frost Band, and he has a good life with his wife Gabby and son Charlie, who plays hockey with his friends and does good at school. Yet when Jack promises to see Charlie's hockey game after work, he forgets his son's game due to many recordings of a song, and decides to make up for it by taking the family up to their cabin in the mountains to spend Christmas there. But on Christmas Eve, as the family's getting ready to go, Jack gets a call saying his song is loved by the studio, but has to perform it in a competition/concert Christmas Day. Yet Jack decided to drive to the cabin after he and his band refused to do the gig. But Jack soon dies in a car crash during a snowstorm, and 1 year later, Charlie feels very upset about it, that he quits hockey and is doing poorly at school. Yet one night, Charlie builds a snowman to include his dad's hat, scarf, and pin, and plays his father's harmonica that Jack gave to him as a gift. And even though Jack makes up a statement saying that the harmonica's magic and that whenever Charlie plays it, he'll hear it, well, it actually turns out to be true. For once Charlie plays the harmonica, Jack returns home, but as the snowman Charlie has built. Despite Charlie's fear of the snowman coming to life, he soon realizes the snowman is his father, and they try to patch things up with Jack telling Charlie to be more responsible with him not being around. While I do get the criticisms behind the film, all I can say is that it's not as bad as it looks, or how I see it. I mean, okay, there are a few things that are bothersome, like the band's called the Jack Frost Band. Couldn't it have been named something else other than being named after the lead singer? Another is when Charlie goes in for a snowball fight. It's big and all, but it's presented like a giant battle, as there's lots of war sound effects added in and such. The effects do look dated at times, with the texture of the snowballs and the snow, and the blue screen and green screen keying standing out. And this does feel like a 90s film, with the song choices, the action and stunts, and portions feeling a little over the top. But, in a way, I really don't mind them, because that era was my generation growing up. And all the other stuff that happened in the film I do enjoy. I like the contrast of the opening and middle, from Charlie doing good and the family having a nice time, to Charlie feeling bummed out and Gabby trying her best. Sure, some of it may feel unnatural and the first half has more ups and downs throughout, but I feel it was all fine. I do enjoy the performance of the Jack Frost character, as the actor brings a bit of spunk to it, whether it's his singing, or his humor, or his expressions. Most of the songs being played have a 90s feel, and I enjoy most of them, despite them being background music. In fact, one song, Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, that played while Charlie builds a snowman, is when I first heard the song, and anytime it plays on the radio, I always think back to this scene. But one criticism that most critics point out is Jack coming back as a snowman, and the way the snowman looks. And while I used to think he looked creepy with the headlights on and seeing his full eyes, his whole appearance never bothered me in the slightest. Unlike the live-action Grinch where it took time for me to get used to the look of the characters, Jack as the snowman didn't upset me from day one, except when the lights are on him. I like the design of him, almost like the classic type of snowman, and his eyes aren't too detailed very often, since it's just big black eyes with white dots, appearing to look somewhat cartoony. He even mentions how reincarnating as a snowman with his name isn't original, which, in fact, it really isn't. And ironically, I like the snowman scenes more than the rest of the film. The comedy he brings, the combination of CGI and Jim Henson puppetry, yes, the puppet is made from the Jim Henson Company, and all the things Jack can do being a snowman. And the actors playing their characters are pretty much alright. Michael Keaton plays Jack Frost, Kelly Preston plays Gabby Frost, Henry Rollins plays Sid Gronick, Mark Addy plays Mac MacArthur, Joseph Cross plays Charlie Frost, Miko Boren plays Natalie, Andrew Lawrence plays Tuck Gronick, and Taylor Handley plays Rory Buck. As a whole, this movie is good. The characters are okay, the story is alright, and the effects, while a bit dated, are enjoyable. Director Troy Miller did a fairly decent job of making a film that, while always done before, is at least enjoyable with what it's got. While it is dated as being a 90s film, with the music, effects, and nature of it all, it's one I don't mind very much, as I was a kid during that time. And even though I get the criticisms of it, with how the snowman looks and such, those things I'm sort of used to, and really, all the stuff with Keaton as the snowman are kinda funny, and are ones I really enjoy, even as a kid. It's not really for everyone, but for me, it's decent enough as a Christmas film, and shouldn't be confused with other Jack Frost titles. So today, this movie began a rating of 3 stars. So thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook or Twitter, support me on Patreon, and until next time for more of Happy Sulli-Days.